Hey everyone, ready to dive deep into prepping for those competitive exams?
I'm here to help you navigate all the best strategies so you can ace those tests. Let's break it down together.
We're going to be focusing on how to prepare for competitive exam today.
It's a fantastic guide packed with useful tips.
Yeah, it really seems to stress the importance of really understanding the exam you're going to take.
Absolutely. How to prepare for competitive exam kicks off with understanding the exam format syllabus and types of questions.
Right. It's kind of like, scoping out the battlefield.
Exactly. Know your opponent, right? You need to know what you're up against.
Okay, so that means, hitting up those dedicated websites for each exam.
For sure. Familiarize yourself with everything you can find.
Gotcha. But past papers, is that really necessary, like right off the bat?
Oh, absolutely. Past papers are gold. They give you a real feel for the structure, the difficulty level.
I guess that makes sense.
Imagine you're training for a marathon, right? And you only ever run on flat ground.
Okay, yeah.
Then race day comes and bam, it's
Yeah.
all hills.
Oof. Yeah, that would be fun.
You'd be thrown off, wouldn't you?
Definitely past papers it is. Okay, so you've scoped out the exam, but then what about study plans?
Ah, yes. How to prepare for competitive exam talks about that too.
I've always struggled with making one that's actually, doable.
Yeah, creating a realistic and effective study plan can definitely be a challenge. How to prepare for competitive exam recommends using the SMART goal framework.
SMART goal.
Yep, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
So it's all about breaking things down into smaller chunks.
Exactly. How to prepare for competitive exam uses this example. Complete 2 chapters of history by the end of the week.
Oh, that's way better than just study history.
Right. It's clear and measurable.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I remember when I was trying to learn this new coding language, it felt so overwhelming until I broke it down into smaller pieces.
It's all about those bite-sized pieces, right?
Right. Okay, so we've got the exam scoped out. We've got our SMART study plan,
Oh, what?
resource.
Ah, yes, the tools of the trade.
There are so many out there.
How to prepare for competitive exam suggests starting with those board-recommended textbooks.
Yeah, those are usually pretty solid.
They align with the syllabus really well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then maybe supplementing with some other reference books.
Exactly. Look for ones that are known for their clarity and comprehensiveness.
And hey, don't underestimate those online resources.
Well, absolutely. Educational websites, video lectures, practice tests.
There's a whole world out there,
How to prepare for competitive exam mentions those too.
but it can almost be too much, right?
Yeah, that's the catch. Too much can be just as bad as too little.
You can get lost in it all.
Exactly. It can be paralyzing. Focus on quality over quantity.
Okay, got it. Quality over quantity. Now, what about actual study techniques?
Getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Everyone has their own methods, but are there any that how to prepare for competitive exam highlights?
Oh, definitely. How to prepare for competitive exam really emphasizes active reading.
Active reading.
Don't just passively skim the text.
Yeah.
Okay. Highlight key points, take notes in your own words, and try to summarize what you've read.
So really engage with the material.
Exactly. Make it your own.
Okay, active reading. Got it. What else? I feel like I've heard it all before.
How about spaced repetition?
Spaced repetition.
It's the idea that revisiting information at spaced intervals helps you remember it better.
Oh, like flashcards.
Yeah, think flashcards, but with a bit more strategy.
Flashcards. Really? I haven't
What?
used those since middle school.
They can be really effective. Spaced repetition isn't about cramming information all at once.
Right.
It's about strategic review. And honestly, the simplicity of flashcards can be a strength.
Interesting.
It forces you to distill the information down to its core.
Okay, yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
What about mind maps? How to prepare for a competitive exam mentions those two, right?
Yeah, mind maps are great.
I love mind maps.
They're so visually appealing, and they can really help you make connections between concepts.
I always feel like I'm unleashing my inner artist or something when I make one.
Exactly. Mind maps can be a fantastic way to organize information in a way that makes sense to you.
So you start with a central topic and then branch out.
Yeah, you branch out to subtopics and details. It's like creating a visual representation of the knowledge you're building. And then there are mnemonics.
Oh, mnemonics.
Yeah.
Like making up silly rhymes to remember historical dates.
Exactly. They can be so helpful for remembering complex information.
Okay, true. So we've talked about a lot of different ways to absorb information.
Right.
But what about practice problems? How to prepare for competitive exam. Talks about those too, right?
Absolutely. Practice problems are essential. They're like sparring before a big boxing match.
Ooh, I like that
You
analogy.
get to test your skills, figure out your weaknesses, and build up that muscle memory.
So it's not just about reading and memorizing.
No, you have to actually apply what you've learned. How to prepare for competitive exams suggests working through past exam questions and mock tests.
Those are super helpful,
They're like a sneak peek into the real deal.
right? You can see how the questions are structured and how much time you'll need.
Exactly. Because let's face it, nobody wants to be that person who runs out of time on exam day.
Oh, no way. Time pressure is the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
We've talked about strategies for taking in information,
Right.
but what about the mental game? You know, staying motivated, dealing with anxiety.
Yeah, the mental game.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of exam prep.
Huge. I feel like that's where I always struggle.
Well, how to prepare for competitive exam has a whole section on that. It offers 10 additional tips for success.
10 tips. Wow.
And a lot of them focus on the mental side of things. Like one of the big things it emphasizes is time management.
Time management. That seems kind of obvious.
It might seem obvious, but it's so crucial. It's about creating a realistic study schedule and then actually sticking to it.
Easier said than done, right?
It definitely takes discipline, minimizing distractions, prioritizing tasks.
Yeah, all of that good stuff.
Try to figure out when you're most focused and leverage those peak hours.
So like if you're a morning person, hit the books hard in the AM.
Exactly. Okay, but let's be real. Motivation can be a fickle thing.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
One day you're all fired up, ready to conquer the world.
Right.
And the next day you're like hiding under the covers with a bag of chips.
I've been there. How to prepare for competitive exams suggests focusing on small wins.
Small wins.
Set achievable goals and then reward yourself when you reach them.
Okay, that makes sense. So instead of thinking, I need to master all of calculus today,
Right.
you break it down into something smaller, like I'm going to understand derivatives by lunchtime.
Exactly. And then bam, reward yourself with something you enjoy.
Ooh, I like that. A little study treat.
A walk in the park, a tasty snack, whatever motivates you.
It's like training a puppy with treats.
Exactly. But for your brain.
What kind of rewards have you found effective?
I'm a simple gal. A good cup of coffee and a piece of dark chocolate.
Nice.
It's my little ritual after a productive study session. But it's different for everyone. The key is to find something that really motivates you.
Okay, so we've got our motivation hacks.
Yeah.
But what about when anxiety and self-doubt start creeping in?
Ah, yes, the dreaded anxiety. That's where things like relaxation techniques and positive affirmations can come in handy.
Relaxation techniques. Are we talking spa days and massages here?
I wish. I'm talking more along the lines of deep breathing exercises, meditation, maybe some gentle yoga.
Okay, so things that help calm you down.
Exactly. Anything that helps quiet those racing thoughts.
And positive affirmations.
It might sound cheesy, but it really can make a difference.
So instead of thinking, I'm going to fail this exam,
You say, I've prepared well and I'm capable of doing my best.
I like that. It's like reframing your thoughts.
Exactly. You're replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones.
Okay, deep breaths and positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Got it. But what about when you're actually taking the exam and those pre-exam jitters hit?
Oh, I know that feeling. Your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty.
It's the worst.
First of all, remember that feeling anxious is totally normal.
Okay,
It's just your body's way of prepping for a challenge.
so it's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. The key is to channel that energy in a positive direction. If you feel yourself spiraling, take a few deep breaths.
Seriously, deep breaths really help.
They really do.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, but it can work wonders for calming your nerves.
I'll have
Yeah.
to try that. And remind yourself that you've put in the work, the material you're capable of doing well.
Exactly. It's all about that self-belief.
Okay, self-belief check. What about physical well-being? How to prepare for competitive exam mentions that too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's so easy to neglect your physical health when you're in study mode.
Totally. You're living on caffeine and ramen noodles.
But remember, a healthy body fuels a healthy mind.
That's true.
How to prepare for competitive exam is all about getting enough sleep, eating nutritious meals, and incorporating some physical activity into your routine.
Yeah, even a little bit of exercise can make a big difference.
It can do wonders for your focus and energy levels.
Okay, so healthy habits, check. What about breaks?
Breaks are essential. How to prepare for competitive exam recommends taking short breaks every hour.
Every hour.
Yeah, just to stretch, move around, give your brain a rest.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. You'll come back feeling more refreshed and focused.
Working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And speaking of working smart, how to prepare for competitive exam also reminds us that it's okay to ask for help.
Oh yeah, pride can definitely get in the way sometimes.
It's easy to feel like you have to do everything on your own.
But there's no shame in reaching out.
Absolutely not. There are so many resources available: teachers, mentors, tutors, online forums, study groups.
Use them.
Don't be afraid to tap into those resources. You don't have to go it alone.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. How to prepare for a competitive exam seems like a pretty comprehensive guide.
It really is. It covers everything from understanding the exam to creating a study plan to managing your mental and physical well-being.
It's like a roadmap for success.
It is. But remember, you're the one driving the car.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Take what resonates with you from how to prepare for competitive exam and adapt it to your own learning style and preferences.
So make it your own.
Exactly. Find your own rhythm and make the process work for you.
It's like dancing, right?
Ah, I like that.
You have the basic steps, but you can add your own your own personality.
Exactly. And remember, the ultimate goal isn't just to pass the exam.
Right.
It's to truly master the material. The knowledge and skills you gain during this process will serve you well beyond the exam itself.
So embrace the challenge, stay focused, believe in yourself.
You got this.
Okay, that was a bit cheesy, but I like it.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up, what do you think really sets successful exam takers apart?
That's a good question. I'd say it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
A solid understanding of the material, of course,
Of course.
but also effective study techniques, a positive mindset, and a commitment to self-care.
It's about the whole package.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach.
It's not just cramming information into your brain.
Right. It's about having a strategy, a plan of attack, and the mental fortitude to see it through.
So it's not just about being smart or knowing all the answers.
It's about having the right tools and the right mindset.
To remember, success is a journey, not a destination.
So true. There will be bumps along the way, moments of doubt and frustration.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've all been there.
But it's how you navigate those challenges that ultimately determines your success.
So stay resilient, stay focused, and never stop learning.
Words to live by.
Wow. I feel like even I've learned a lot from this deep dive.
Me too. It's always good to refresh those study skills.
Always. And hopefully our listener is feeling much more confident and prepared to tackle those exams.
I hope so too.
Before we wrap things up, any final words of wisdom from how to prepare for a competitive exam that we haven't touched on, something that really stood out?
You know, how to prepare for a competitive exam kind of keeps coming back to this idea that succeeding in these exams isn't really just about intelligence or even just hard work. It's about resilience and strategy and really believing in yourself.
Yeah, you got to have that self-belief. It's about showing up even when it's tough, you know?
Exactly. Even when you're tired or those doubts start creeping in.
It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of the competition.
Right. You can lose sight of the bigger picture.
But at the end of the day, it's about the journey, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about pushing yourself to grow and learn.
Well said. All right, listener, we've armed you with all sorts of strategies from how to prepare for competitive exam.
Filter now.
Take those tips and make them your own.
Find what works for you.
Create a study plan that fits your style and your goals.
And remember to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Oh yeah, those little victories can make a big difference.
It's all about staying motivated, keeping that momentum going.
So keep those study snacks handy, those positive affirmations flowing.
And don't forget to breathe.
Yes. Deep breaths, people.
You got this.
We believe in you.
Thanks for joining us to the world of competitive exams.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time, happy studying.